Hello, FewCandy here, and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines. And last time out, we came in on a stream and did this quaint little rural churchyard here with a few different workshop assets granted. So I didn't go down the vanilla route with this one, just because I really wanted this aesthetic of a nice open graveyard around a really cute little church, which the base game just doesn't offer us here. So we have got a few workshop items, but hopefully you can appreciate the aesthetic that this gives to this area of Auridon. And yeah, I think it turned out alright with these willows here. And we've got a path running down all the way to the waterfront here, where we will come in again on another live stream and detail up this waterfront with some nice reeds, maybe a little beach area, a few different activities. Nice for dog walking along the edge of this cove here. That's the idea that we want to go for around there. And then we did as well also fix up the Iron Grandpa District High Street here, which, yeah, again, I think it turned out okay with this little extension onto the restaurant here as well. And one thing that someone did point out, and of course I did the Bob tutorial not that long ago, so if you haven't seen that, you can go and check it out on my YouTube channel. But I failed to remember one little trick that I did talk about in that tutorial. So I didn't want to get rid of this wall because I didn't want it to be removed on every instance of this restaurant, because we've used it quite a few times across Auridon and I haven't extended it out in other places, so I definitely want to keep that wall. But what we can do with Bob, of course, is lower the probability. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to find every instance of the props here. We're going to find the instance of the fence panel right there, this one, and just reduce that probability just ever so slightly. Press tick there to make sure that's saved, and I'll come back and we will get rid of it in just a second. And then we'll also find this table set here again, yeah, and just lower the probability ever so slightly. Press tick, and then what we can do is I can reset this building until we get a version of it without that fence panel and without the table. And there we go. So we now do have a path through, so it does make a little bit more sense now in terms of how that restaurant is laid out. So that was a really, really good shout from the No Man in the Discord server. So thank you so much for that, No Man. I really appreciate it. And for those of you that didn't know, we do now have a Discord server, so the link is in the description of the video if you'd like to come and join us. It's turning into a really, really cute little community. Now, one other thing before we crack on with today's episode was the naming of the residential districts that we did a couple of episodes ago. So we've got the lovely Green Cities residential neighbourhood here, and then of course the lower income residential estate over here as well. And there were loads of great suggestions for this, so it was actually pretty hard to choose one to come up with. So now we don't actually have a district yet on this area, so let's just draw one out for this estate here. Now I have decided to go with complementary names for these two districts. So what we are going to call them, and this was a suggestion from EMB in the stream, which was to call this Auridon. So we're going to have Auridon over here, and we are going to have Aurido over here. Yeah, I really like that suggestion. It's kind of funny. It's got a little ring to it. So yeah, there we go. We've got Aurido and Auridon. So thanks EMB for that suggestion, lovely one. So now for today's episode, I am going to be concentrating on this space here. And we do have our Sevenoaks City Park over this side. And so what I'm actually going to do today is essentially extend that right into this space. And we are going to use the concept DLC assets and produce a large festival area within this open park area that we see here. So first things first, I am going to just make sure we've got a road network set up for that. Now we do have transport options already right here. So we've got a tram network that comes into here. We've got two separate metro lines. We also have the intercity train line, which will be converted into an internal train line heading towards the downtown at a later date as well. So there's quite a few transport options already coming into this area, which is great because that will be needed for the festival site. It brings in an awful lot of traffic, so we've got to be prepared for it. So I'm just going to take this road and very simply hook it up to this intersection over here, just so that we have a connection there, which I think makes sense considering these two roads are right next to each other. So let's bring that in and join that up. Now I just need to sort out these lanes, so let's go ahead and do that, and we'll have dedicated turn lanes for the lanes that cross the traffic there, I think. And actually, do you know what, I am going to use node controller here just to extend out this junction a little bit, as it's quite tight there. And then I will actually just move this node over ever so slightly so there's a bit more room for the buses to play with there, so they can actually sit in their stops with those slightly longer airport buses. I do need to go around and check the bus assets as well, which we will do, because there are some. I think I've mixed it up a bit and I've now got school buses running. Yeah, I can see one right there, which I really don't like to have on certain lines, so we will go ahead and sort that out later. Let's just take off the traffic lights from here and we will make sure we've got give way signs there just to keep the traffic flowing along this main road, because this one is going to get quite busy and I've just seen this is all really janky and odd here. So let's just go ahead and remove that node again, because I think we've got too many there. And that's a little bit smoother, although I've freaked all the cars out now and they're wondering what on earth to do. So we might just have to go ahead and delete this car. There we go, so we had a bit of traffic build up there, but it is slowly starting to move again. I'm actually just going to use node controller here just to widen this as well. And of course we will also make sure we've got a give way sign there and let the traffic keep flowing this way. Let's just keep it going on this main road. Now the other thing, because this junction has started to get really rather busy, now I think that's the backup of traffic from where I screwed up the nodes there, so we'll just wait and make sure that that goes down. But yeah, this junction has quite a lot of pressure on it now with trucks coming down into this cargo area. So we do have people using the Dumbo intersection that we put in last time up here too, but just not as many as over here. So what I am going to do now is connect up this into a junction here. So we've just got another access point for those trucks. They can get straight up onto the highway over here rather than having to drive all the way down through this residential and around this park here. And hopefully that will ease some of the traffic that we'll get from the concerts DLC as well. And it really is starting to build up here now. And again, I think that is just the backlog of where I screwed up the nodes, but we'll just keep an eye on it and make sure that that is the case. And they are all stopping here, so I want to avoid that. So for the time being, let's just tell them to carry on and not stop. Now we'll just jump into a time lapse really quickly to get this junction in so that we can then focus on our festival park. And there we go. So we do have just a really simple Trumpet intersection in here. A bit of intersection marking tools, some banking, some nice different layers of height, I think, actually, in here with the raised highway going on through it. So yeah, simple interchange, but there's a lot of people using it actually already. So that is certainly going to take a little bit of the pressure off this roundabout here. And we can see that traffic's cleared already, which is great news. So coming on to our festival site. So first things first, I do want to put in a park area. And I am actually just going to make this separate park area to the Sevenoaks Park for now, because there are a few assets we haven't unlocked that I would like to get in here, and that is some amusement park assets. So I am actually, for now, just going to put in an amusement park gate. This will change. So further down the line, once we've unlocked those assets, I'm not going to have an amusement park gate here. So we'll just put this in, yeah, temporarily, just to be super clear, so that we can start leveling it up and start unlocking some of these assets. So all of this is super temporary, but it's just so that we can get those assets unlocked and then we can change it up. So I'm just going to put in a really basic path network. And again, without thinking about it too much, I am just going to plop down some of these assets so that we can get this leveled up and get some of the rides in. So yeah, this is not staying, just to be super clear and reiterate that point over and over again. So I think if we have a little look at that now, we've got plenty of entertainment there. I do want to get on all of the policies that we can for getting people into this park. So yeah, let's leave it like that for the moment. We've got decent transport links here, so we should be fine from that point of view. I am actually just going to use Node Controller to put in a crossing just in front of it to help people get across the road and into the park there. But that should do for the moment to help us get some of those amusement park assets in. So now with the Concerts DLC, there are a few different assets. The main one that I want to get in here is the big festival area. Let's just plop that down there. But I'd also like the fan zone park, and I quite like putting this in as like a sort of, it's almost like a second stage type area is the way I would see this, and as an extension to the main festival area, all grouped in together. You could of course put it in a totally different part of the city if you wanted to, but that is how I'd like to arrange it here. Now as we're thinking about this build as well, we do have to consider that this festival area is going to change as it levels up, which can in some ways be slightly annoying, because if I'm trying to put in detail in around it, that's all going to change as we go along. But one way to get it leveled up fast is to crack up your ticket prices. For some reason, Sims like expensive prices and think it's more attractive to come here if they've got high prices. So yeah, we're just going to crack those up and hope that that brings in people. Now we do have a concert in July of this year, so it's only a few months away from the time that we are at now. Now, obviously, this is not going to stay up against the main road here. So I'm just going to pause the game really quickly so we can get this into place and get a road network in. So we definitely don't want to miss that first festival and give us an opportunity to start leveling up this area. So I'm just going to drag this, and where I would like to put it is actually down the back here. Because what I'm going to do is do a kind of backstage area onto the back of it here with car parks, kind of trying to make it look like somewhat temporary facilities, but we will be using some mixed commercial office assets, maybe some park-like assets in here as well, just to give a bit of a feel for a backstage area around the back of our main festival site there. And of course, bearing in mind that it is going to change and level up, we will have to adapt that as we go through the levels. And with the fan zone park, I'm going to bring that in over this side, I think, and we will, I think, put it up against the train just like that. And then we can do lots of food court eatery areas in the middle here. I'm going to have a small campsite. We're going to have tons of car parks, everything that you would expect to find at a massive festival site. And also lots of open green space as well to extend out this area, so you can imagine like people just hanging out and having a great time at their festival. That's what we want to go for. Now, of course, these do need road access, but I actually don't want cars driving up here. So I'm going to use the Park Life Paths as road assets for this, and we will use the natural park road so that we keep that kind of green, natural park feel to it. So we'll just bring this out in front of both of these like that. And what I am going to do actually is bring it out in quite a large square, like so, so we've got this big kind of open plaza area in front of it. And actually just thinking about it now, because I know this is going to level up, but I don't know exactly what size, but it does get slightly bigger. So I'm actually just going to extend this out very slightly, and we'll have it like so. So I am just going to extend this round this side so that it is essentially an entrance via the backstage, so that we're not encouraging civilians and normal people to just come in through this entrance. And obviously I know they will, because they can't distinguish that within Cities Skylines, but we'll ban vehicles and we'll make sure we try and do our utmost to make it look like that. We'll just join it up for there now, and now we can hit play. And I will actually just crack up the speed on this as well so that we can try and get this leveled up. And of course they are going to want power, so let's bring that in. And I'll just do a really basic connection across the road from the Auridon district now. And just so it's aesthetically pleasing just for the moment, I am going to just bring this out so that it is in the centre of that area for now. And of course we'll adjust that as time goes on. Just so we get more visitors in here as well, because I want to encourage maximum visitors, really. Let's just grab plain gravel path for this, and we will connect this up to our temporary amusement park for now. And we'll also make a connection down here too, so that any Sims coming from the Auridon district can connect via there as well. And in fact, just so we maximise the potential of our amusement park district, I am actually just going to scrap that just for a second and use our gateless entrances here so that we are making sure that people are paying as they're going in and being tracked, so it helps towards the levelling up. So you will have to bear with me here because a lot of this is going to be temporary until we get to the point where we've got the assets that we want, and then it will all start coming together, hopefully. Now this road here is getting mightily busy, and I'm wondering if actually we might need to put traffic lights on here because they're just simply not getting out. So one thing that will help with that actually is an asymmetric road, which is not something I've really used too much in Auridon at the moment. So I think we will add that in here just so we've got 2 lanes coming into the end, and we'll just do that all the way down. And then what I will do here is make sure that we've got the straight on and the turn right, so anything that's crossing traffic is going to be in its dedicated lane, and the left-hand lane can hopefully just keep flowing. Now one thing a festival site absolutely definitely needs is an awful lot of parking. So down in this area I am going to create a nice, fairly open natural car park. And I think it will also help this area as well because we can see the car parks here are very busy, and I have banned car parking all around all of the roads there as well, so they might be struggling a little bit. So let's just clear out these trees for a second. And this should also help the train station here as well when that starts to get a bit busier. And just before I started the car parks again, we have unlocked a level 2 already of our amusement park, so that's great. I'm hoping to get some of the larger amusement park assets unlocked, however, so some of these ones, so level 3, 4 onwards. So we'll just have to keep going at it. And we have got enough entertainment as well to get us up to the next level. I'm going to whack up the price and see if that helps to encourage any more people into here. But I will, just to encourage it further, add in those couple of assets that we've just unlocked as well, so that they've got a little bit more entertainment to come into. So what I would like for this car park is one main entrance, which I think we'll bring out in the middle here, so we can have the main entrance into the festival site directly opposite it there. Probably bring in a pedestrian bridge to help people get over this road, seeing as it is pretty busy. Let's bring out a road in the middle here, and then what I will do is bring out these service roads either side, so let's make sure it's nice and equal. We've got 14 units that way, we'll do 14 units as well this way. We'll just turn off snapping to road guidelines so we get that in nicely. And then what I am going to use, I'm going to use the slightly poorly maintained car park, and we are going to, I'll bring out one in the centre here, and I'm going to leave some nice gaps so that we've got greenery in front of all of these. So I'll try and keep these gaps as even as possible as we come down. And then we'll connect it with service road all the way up the back, and then just trim off these extra ends there. So that is the type of car park that I want to do, and I want to put trees all around it, picnic benches, so there's lots of green space around it, and it feels like a little bit more of a natural forested car park as opposed to like a big city car park like this one over here, just because we are extending out our Sevenoaks City Park into this area. And just midway through detailing the car park, I have realised that actually we have a... Was that someone Williams? I've missed it there. We have our first festival on, and yeah, if we have a look at it, we've got 254 people here out of 300, which is not bad. The fan zone park is absolutely empty, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. I guess because this isn't full, it's not overflowing. But yeah, we got people there to watch Nesta, and they all seem to be having a remarkably good time. How fun! How fun! And there we go, we've got our kind of natural car park, festival car park. Very open, lots of picnic tables, broken nature reserve, fence, bushes, that sort of thing. Yeah, trying to go for a much more... Well, yeah, I think the only way I can describe it is a parky car park. So let's just go and check how our festival did. And yeah, we have leveled up the popularity of Nesta, which is great, up to 67. I think we need to get it to 70 and 6 concerts in order to get this upgraded. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think it's going to be a one-time thing, but I definitely want to get this upgraded, which we are close on. So we're almost at the visitor level to get up to level 3 there, which is great news. So if we just leave this end for the moment with our temporary amusement park on it there and focus on our main festival area. Now I do want to come in and do this backstage area, and I have realised, well, I've seen these cars, that I have not banned cars on this road. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll have to leave trucks, bins and emergency services so that they've got access into this festival area, but everything else can absolutely go. And our amusement park has leveled up to level 3, which is great. So we've got a few new rides in there. Now I do just want to keep going with it to get those bigger rides. We do have enough entertainment value already. We just need to get those visitors in. So what I would like here is definitely a security gate. And I'm thinking we are going to use one of these barrier assets here, which I feel like will be appropriate for this. However, it does look like I need to break the road in order to do that. I'm actually just going to plonk this right in the middle, and then we can just see when cars come down how horrendously awful the clipping is and make a judgment call if we want to split the road out around it or not. So let's leave it like that just for the moment. Now all around this backstage area I need to have fencing, and I'm thinking the most appropriate fence for this is probably the ore fence, because it has that kind of, you can't see through, this is a secure area type look to it. So yeah, I think we are going to go ahead and use ore fence all the way around here. And similarly as well, we'll put in another security entrance up this end. And I'm going to leave the space all around the festival area just for the moment. I'm going to leave that quite clear so that we make sure we've got the space to expand it and adjust our backstage area as the festival area levels up. So for now, we'll just bring this in, and that gives us our backstage area. And yeah, we'll do the detailing around this as it levels up. So again, we definitely want another security entrance here as well. So I will just bring out, I think we will just put the barrier across the road for this one, just like that. And then we can actually put in a toll booth as the security booth right next to this. We'll just place that in there. And then what I will do is just move this ore fence up nice and close. I would actually like to bring in a car park here, so I think I'm just going to delete the front entrance of this road here and bring in a normal pavement road just for a small section. So we'll get this node again. We can adjust this fence in a second. I'll turn collision off just to get this in. We just bring in a small road like that, and yeah, I definitely want the one with no parking on this. And then of course we can now put our security gate in the middle of the road, which I think sits a little bit better there as well. So what I would like in here actually is just a very small car park, because I think that would make sense for anybody coming in to the festival area who's working here. There would be facilities for them. We'll have the car park just like that sat in the corner. And then of course I will connect back up this road so they're connected into the main road network there. So for this backstage area, what I would like is a little bit of a mixture of some sort of slightly more permanent looking buildings, particularly around this car park. A lot of tents for workers for their sleeping arrangements for the festival. So we'll have a few different little tented areas. And I have got lots of props off the workshop. So I'm going to use lots of these trailer props as well to look like equipment that's come in with all the different bands, the different artists, the stage equipment, all that kind of stuff. So we use lots of those, and we've got lots of awnings as well for different food areas, hospitality areas that we will dot out around this backstage area. So just for now, what I would like to do is plan out the space a little bit, and then we'll come through and touch it all up in the detail in time lapse later. But this area here, as they come in, I am just going to straighten up this road just a little bit so that we get a nice border to this. So let's align it to the edge of the car park there, like so. So what I am going to do in this area here is produce a bit of a truck stop. So we are going to have a whole area where we've got lots and lots of these trailers stacked up, backed up, ready, waiting to be packed up after the festival has finished. So yeah, we'll go ahead and put in a load of these along here. And again, I will come in and arrange these all on the detail and time lapse a little bit later on. We have got different sizes of truck here as well, so we can really stack them up and get them packed in here, which I know from being at festival sites, that happens quite a lot. So just to give a little taste of what it will look like, and again, we'll come through and do more of this in the detail and time lapse, but that's the type of thing that we'll be going through in this area. And we have reached level 4 with our amusement park. So I did just leave it running for a little bit there. It wasn't that quick. So now we just need to get to 10,000 visitors. We need a bit more entertainment. So just looking at the park assets, I really do want the Ferris wheel, which is level 5. So we are going to aim to try and get up there. So I am just going to stick in these assets that we've got, make sure we've got enough entertainment level to get us to level 5, and hopefully we will get there in this episode so that we can use that Ferris wheel asset that I'm really desperate to use. So again, this is not staying like this. This looks awful, but we will just place in a load of these assets to get that entertainment value up. And I think we'll have more restrooms, souvenir shop, cafe, why not? So we've got plenty of entertainment now to get us up there, so we'll just leave that running and see how that goes. And we do actually have another concert on, I've just seen. Lily LaRue is currently playing, 209 people there, so it's not super busy at the moment, but hopefully we can draw in some more people when we get some more assets around this as well. And we're probably going to want some better public transport to the area too, so I'm thinking bringing some more buses or trams in around this area so that people can just nip in from this side entrance. We have got a lot of transport here, and I mean, this entrance is super busy. I'm hoping they're kind of going through and going to the festival area rather than just stopping off at the amusement park. But of course, that will all change when we get rid of these assets. So we'll see how that goes. Now, for some of the bigger assets in the backstage area, I'm thinking a couple of just really small offices would do it. So I'm thinking potentially one of these offices, which is slightly bigger, but could look like it has been here for a while. That's the type of thing that I'd want to go for with this. So I think we'll position it just at the side there, and of course it's not going to like being off the road there, so let's change that spawn point immediately so that it's getting down to the road here. Then we can just spin it around so the trucks get easy access, and then it can be served from the road there, so hopefully it shouldn't go abandoned, put in that random position. And we can come in with a bit of surface painter to detail that up as well. I think we'll have a bit of an opening hospitality area here around the car park. And it looks like the concert is done, and yeah, Lily LaRue has leveled up just a little bit. So we are getting there, And what I might do actually is add an advertising campaign, because we're making an absolute ton of money now that we've got ore and oil in the city, and the industry is working really well with a couple of unique factories now too. So let's go ahead and add the ad campaign. It's 9,000 a week, so it is expensive, but look, we've got so much, we can more than afford that. And hopefully that'll get our visitor count up and get us having some really good concerts. And another asset that I would like to get in is another office over this side as well. I think is a bit of a security post down by this entrance. I just see these are floating here. So let's just bring those pops back down to earth. And of course, I absolutely cannot stand these billboards on this. So let's go ahead and bob them off. Definitely the pink octopus. That could go in a flash. So I think the rest of it, we will come through and arrange in a detailing time lapse. I'm going to have paths running through a lot of it, little tent areas, little hospitality areas, some of those food trucks, and lots of these awnings, which I have got from the workshop as well, as mentioned. So yeah, lots of these type of festival kind of awnings we'll have throughout the backstage area. Now just going on to the main assets out the front. So one thing that I would really like to add in here is actually the hot air balloon tours. Because looking at the asset itself, it's got loads of these little tents, which I think lend themselves really nicely to a festival area with the beer garden benches in it, lots of tables around it. And of course, having a balloon flying over our festival site would just be absolutely awesome, and the cream on the cake, as it were. So let's just move this into place. Now this area, what I would like is a central food court at the back here. So I am going to position this just slightly out of the way. And we are going to go off the side, off the back of this main area. And I'm actually going to just put it right in the middle, I think there. And we'll copy this Park Life path as a road here so that we've got access to it. And we'll just bring it in. I think we'll actually just bring it into the complex just like that. so that it sort of enters in, and that is now connected as a road. And of course, let's just go ahead and make sure our spawn points are adjusted for this. So I am actually just going to bring this right up to the main road here. So now just to finish off this area, I really want to get those amusement park assets in. So I am just going to whack it up to fast speed and yeah, just wait till we've got those visitors in. Okay, so we have finally leveled up to level 5 and we have got our Ferris wheel and a roller coaster as well, if we fancy putting that into the festival area. I mean, I don't think it's going to go in there, but we shall see. We shall see. We've got the Ferris wheel at least, so now we can start progressing. So first things first, I'm going to clear out this amusement park so that we can start to build our actual festival area. I am going to keep this as an amusement park because we're going to have amusement park assets in it, so we may as well. But what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the gateless entrance as the main entrance here, because I just feel like that is a little bit more appropriate than having the full-on amusement park entrances. And plus I don't want the Chirpy Land sign there. So let's put in our main entrance here. And we definitely want to come in and have a bit of a security area right off the bat. So let's grab the amusement park path, so we'll continue that on. And we'll just bring that out into a little bit of a holding pen out the front here. So we'll do that. We'll use some surface painter in the middle of it to paint this all in with concrete. And in actual fact, looking at this now, I definitely want the amusement park path without props on it. So let's go ahead and find that. So yeah, the propless version, which you can find in Find It if you have Find It. It's not in the normal path menu. It is only available in Find It. Let's use that there, and I can see that's not even, so let's just grab these two nodes and bring them in a tiny bit so we've got a nice even split on either side. And again, I think the first building that I'd like them to come to is probably an office building, but I'd like to find a nice low one. It might be that we use a commercial one for this. But I'm thinking something along these lines. Super plain, just a bit of an administration building. We'll put it on its side like this, and then what we will do is grab this path again and we'll bring out a central, okay, we'll move it over a little bit, but a central entrance, which is going to be the main entrance into the festival site here. And then in here as well, I think it's only appropriate that we have quite a lot of barriers. So I'm thinking these type of barriers, which are kind of the queuing ones, would be most appropriate. So yeah, there we go. So they can make that look a lot like a queue. And we will fence this all in with security fencing all around the festival site there as well. So yeah, I think that's the main bits to put into this area. And then of course, let's extend on the path. So I will just grab a gravel path, which I think is going to be the most appropriate for going all around this festival site. We'll bring that out straight for a little bit. And then what I would like is a massive campsite over in this corner. I'll bring that out a little bit further and then we'll bring it in like so. And we do have collision off, of course. Again, an episode does not go past where I don't have trees on a path or a road. So there we go. And yeah, we'll have a campsite over in this corner. So the type of thing that we are going to do here is we're going to make it very festival-like. So we'll have a few main paths, which will come out like so, to essentially divide off some sections. And then we will absolutely cram in tents into this area in very much completely random patterns, really close together, as if people have just squeezed in and found any space that they can in the campsite there. And then what I'm actually going to do as well is bring out another area down this side, and we'll have a slightly smaller campsite but another location for camping over this side as well. So I will come through and do the campsite mainly in the detailing time lapse, but just to show the type of thing that we will go for. So yeah, like mentioned, we will absolutely cram in tents, and it will be random patterns. So they're not all going to be all uniform or straight at all. We'll have different sizes of tents dotted in here. So lots of these smaller ones, and yeah, all extremely close together. Try and get in lots of colours as well. So we'll probably use a little bit of the repaint tool to give us a lot more variation. But this is the type of thing that we will be going for. And we'll have odd little bits of greenery dotted in as well. So like the natural environment is kind of seeping through into the campsite. So things like a little bush row here, or maybe one right in the middle, for example, like that. And the odd tree as well we will keep in around these tents. And on top of that, lots of props will be in here. So we definitely want lots of trash cans. Hopefully people will actually dispose of their rubbish. And we can do things like these larger recycling units as well, right in the middle of these campsite areas. So something along those lines. But we'll come through and do most of that in the detailing time lapse. And I also do like the fact that these tents have ruining underneath them, because then it gives them that kind of worn festival earth, lots of people treading all over it type of look. So yeah, happy with how that will come out. Now getting back to the main area. So obviously now that we have them, let's get in some of our amusement park assets. Absolutely, definitely want this Ferris wheel. So now in the middle here, we're going to have open green space here with a couple of extra screens that people could, you can imagine that people might sit on the grass and watch the screens, see what's going on, have a few drinks, whatever they're doing on the grass there. And then we'll have a huge food court area circle here with tons of benches, lots of tents, all of that kind of decoration. And what I would like is quite a view over the whole park. So I'm actually thinking maybe we bring it up into this corner and let's move this fan zone park over. Yeah, I think that feels a little bit better for the fan zone park in terms of orientation. So yeah, I am thinking let's bring it up on a slight angle so we get a little bit more interest into the area. But we'll bring it like that. And then this other one, this tower drop ride, I would also like to put this in, although it is extremely tall and slightly wary of having it near the hot air balloons there. So for now, we'll just plop this on the edge over here. Now with both of these, I absolutely can't stand these amusement park tiles. So what we will do is go in and bob them off. Now in and around the bottom of this, I'd probably quite like to have some smaller rides as well. So I think the Astro bumpers probably goes quite good at the foot of the Ferris wheel here. And then similarly over this side, we could actually have in this slightly larger one on this corner here. In fact, we could have that opposite the hot air balloons. Let's do that. We'll have that in that side. So again, it just adds a little bit more height to the area. And then over this side, I'll just bring in some path around here. And I think what we will do is use surface painter just to fill in this section with gravel so we get a little bit of a courtyard in front of these rides here. And actually for added decoration, I am going to grab those barriers again so that we get a little bit of a queue forming in front of the Ferris wheel. So I think this is really all of the main assets that I want to get into this festival area. So it is just a matter of coming through and detailing it up now. So clearly we'll fill out the entire campsite here. We will complete our backstage area with loads of props, tents, food courts, that sort of thing. Loads of these truck trailers as well, just to detail that all up. And we'll come through and add in tons of toilet blocks, of course. The festival area would not be complete without toilet blocks, so we'll have loads of those in various different places around the main festival site and of course throughout the campsite as well. And then add in lots of woodland and nature all around it so it feels quite nice and enclosed and in a big green park area. So I will go ahead and jump into that detailing time lapse and be right back. Okay, so we have our festival site, and honestly there is so many people tracking up this path. It is literally eye-watering. And when I had a look at the park, yeah, it's making 22.5 grand. It is absolutely insane with 662 visitors this week. It's gone completely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. These people just keep flooding in down this street from the station, from the transport hub over here. So we've got the trams are super busy. The train station is super busy. Yeah, and they're just flooding on in all the way down this road. Just continuous swarms of people. And they seem to all be actually mostly, so some of them are heading up to the festival site, but most of them are going into the campsite. So yeah, if we just take a little look at the detailing, so clearly, yeah, crammed in a gazillion tents, as many as we could, so to try and make it look like a authentic festival site where people just come and pitch up wherever they can, and it is really squished in. Got lots of little toilet blocks like this one, the little outhouses, and yeah, exactly similar type of thing over this side as well. And just so many people just keeps coming. I've used a fire tower here as well, just to add a little bit of extra security, because there are a few tents that have been burning down. So I think a little bit of fire support is probably needed on this festival site. And then as we come into the main area, we have got, yeah, a few little green cities, eatery assets dotted around, little areas with some wonky benches, as if the drunk festival goers have moved them around a little bit. We've got toilet blocks like this big bank here, bins obviously around everywhere as you would see at a normal festival. And I have put in side gates, so this is completely park cheese now. So all of these are gateless entrances into the park, so anyone who comes from this area out this way or up to this road is paying. So that's how we're making our 22.5 grand a week. But yeah, lots of the Green Cities assets around, so we've created this food court using some of the park life assets, Green Cities, a couple of the modern city centre buildings there, and lots of these tent assets and some park life props as well, all dotted in for effect. And I have put in another fire tower here because actually I thought it looked like a kind of VIP viewing platform, or you might consider that it could be that at least, here with a really great view out over both of those stages. And then we did actually use the lookout tower from the nature reserve path here as well. That could be a kind of a lighting booth. You know, you see the lighting engineers or the sound engineers, whatever, sat up there. Maybe some more VIP access. Put in some screens and a couple of flashy lights around this big grassy area, so you can kind of imagine people sitting out on the grass, enjoying the sunshine or the rain, whatever it might be at this festival, just chilling out and enjoying the music. Yeah, lots more toilet blocks, nature reserve fence, security entrance up there as well. Yeah, and more toilet blocks. And coming onto the backstage area, we have absolutely crammed in these lorry containers, the lorry trailers here, to make it, yeah, look very much like a holding area for all of the equipment needed to set up this massive festival site. We've got little eatery areas dotted around all over the place with small dots of tents as well for accommodation for those staff. And the stars, they're not immune to sleeping in tents. These trailers as well, I thought looked a little bit more like they could be tour buses or band specific. They look a little bit fancier than some of the other trailers, so dotted a few of them around. But yeah, much of the same over here, just little food courts, tent areas, a bit more sleeping over here, and toilets dotted around all over the place. And then we have got these security entrances going into the backstage there, although people seem to just be walking straight through the chain link fence. But of course all of that will change when it gets to level 3. The design of the stage there changes, so we'll need to adapt and update that as appropriate. And we have got in a police station here as well, just as a little bit of added extra security at the front gate. But otherwise, that is really it. So it has turned out into quite a mega festival area. And I mean, yeah, these people, they just keep on coming. And yeah, I do think it is all of these tents that are drawing people as one burns down as we speak there. So I'm absolutely loving this festival area, if I'm allowed to say that myself. I don't know. It's just so busy. It's awesome. It's awesome to see it so busy like this. And I did just change up this front off camera as well, just to make sure that they weren't clipping through the fence and actually walking around this queue system properly. And it all seems to be working really well. I don't know what these guys are doing sat at the front entrance there. But for today, that is going to be it. So if you have enjoyed this episode, please do whack that like button below. Drop me a comment and let me know name suggestions as well for this festival area. Keen to give it a really, really awesome Auridon style name. But otherwise, that is it from me. So stay tuned for the cinematics because you are going to get some serious walking porn on the go there. But that is it from me for now. So I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.